The coffee shop door jingled as Adam Keller pushed it open, his 5-year-old daughter Emma's small hand tucked safely in his. He hadn't planned on stopping at Perks and Brews that morning, but Emma had spotted the colorful chalk drawing of cupcakes on the sidewalk board and tugged him toward the entrance with the surprising strength only kindergartners seem to possess. "Daddy, can I get a hot chocolate? Please." Emma looked up at him with those big brown eyes her mother's eyes, and Adam felt his resolve weaken despite the mental calculation of his bank account balance. "Sure, pumpkin, but a small one, okay? And we need to hurry so you're not late for school." Adam approached the counter, scanning the menu prices and wincing internally. $4 for hot chocolate seemed excessive, but he'd promised Emma, and breaking promises wasn't something he did. Not since his divorce 2 years ago had upended their lives and forced him to become both mother and father to his little girl. "I'll have a small hot chocolate and just a regular coffee, black," he told the barista, reaching for his wallet. "Adam Keller." The voice came from behind him, soft but clear, with a hint of disbelief that made the hair on his arms stand up. He knew that voice. Even after 12 years, he'd recognize it anywhere. He turned slowly, his heart suddenly hammering against his ribs. Olivia. Olivia Wright stood before him, looking both exactly the same and completely different as the girl he'd loved in college. Her auburn hair was shorter now, falling in soft waves just past her shoulders instead of the long curls he used to run his fingers through. But her eyes, those piercing green eyes, hadn't changed at all. "I can't believe it's you," she said, a slow smile spreading across her face. Adam became acutely aware of his worn jeans and the faded flannel shirt he'd thrown on that morning. His construction boots were scuffed from the job site he'd been working the day before. Meanwhile, Olivia looked like she'd stepped out of a magazine in her tailored charcoal pantsuit and cream silk blouse. "Daddy, who's that lady?" Emma tugged at his hand, bringing him back to reality. "This is an old friend of mine, Emma, Miss Wright." "You can call me Olivia," she said, crouching down to Emma's level. "And what's your name?" "I'm Emma and I'm 5, his daughter announced proudly, holding up 5 fingers. "Daddy's getting me hot chocolate because I was super good at brushing my teeth this morning." Olivia laughed, the sound sending a wave of nostalgia through Adam. "That's definitely worth celebrating. Sir, your order." The barista's voice interrupted them. Adam reached for his wallet again, but Olivia stood quickly. "Let me get this," she said, sliding a sleek black card across the counter before he could protest. "And I'll have a latte, please." "You don't have to do that," Adam said quietly. "I want to," she replied. Consider it payment for the chance to catch up with an old friend. They moved to the pickup counter, Emma chattering away about her kindergarten class and how she was learning to read. Adam couldn't help but notice the way Olivia listened intently to his daughter, asking questions and seeming genuinely interested. "She's wonderful," Olivia said when Emma paused for breath. "She looks like you." "Acts like her mom sometimes, though," Adam said, then immediately regretted bringing up his ex-wife. "Are you?" Olivia hesitated. "Are you and her mother still together?" Adam shook his head. "Divorced 2 years ago. We share custody, but Emma lives with me most of the time since Sarah's job requires a lot of travel." "I'm sorry to hear that," Olivia said, though something in her expression shifted. Relief? Interest? Adam couldn't tell. "What about you? Are you just passing through town?" Adam asked, taking his coffee from the barista. "Actually, I moved back about 6 months ago," Olivia said. "I bought a house in Maple Ridge." Adam raised his eyebrows. Maple Ridge was the most exclusive neighborhood in the city, with homes starting at several $1,000,000. "Wow. You must be doing well." Olivia shrugged modestly. "I've been fortunate. I work in tech investment." Before Adam could ask more, Emma tugged on his hand again. "Daddy, I'm gonna be late." He checked his watch and grimaced. "You're right, pumpkin, we need to go." He looked at Olivia apologetically. "I'm sorry, I have to drop her at school." "Of course," Olivia said, and then hesitated. "But maybe we could catch up properly sometime. Dinner, perhaps?" Adam felt a flutter in his chest that he hadn't experienced in years. "I'd like that." Olivia pulled out her phone. "Give me your number." "I'll text you." As Adam recited his number, watching Olivia input it into what looked like the latest model smartphone, he couldn't help but feel the stark contrast between them. He was a single dad struggling to make ends meet as a construction foreman, and she was clearly successful enough to live in Maple Ridge. "It was really good seeing you, Adam," Olivia said softly as they prepared to leave. "You too, Liv," he replied, using the nickname that had slipped out automatically. The nickname he'd whispered against her skin countless times during their 2 years together in college. Her eyes widened slightly at the familiar address, and for a moment, Adam saw a glimpse of the 20-year-old girl who had broken his heart when she'd left for a prestigious internship in Silicon Valley, an opportunity too good to pass up. She'd said. He hadn't fought hard enough to make the long-distance work, and within 6 months, they'd drifted apart. "Bye, Olivia," Emma waved enthusiastically as Adam guided her toward the door. "Goodbye, Emma. I hope to see you again soon." As Adam helped Emma into his weathered pickup truck, he couldn't shake the feeling that seeing Olivia right again had just changed something fundamental in his life. He just wasn't sure if it was for better or worse. The rest of Adam's day passed in a blur of construction plans, crew management, and a dozen small crises that needed his attention at the luxury condo development where he worked as site foreman. By the time he picked Emma up from her after-school program, he'd almost convinced himself that the morning's encounter had been a dream. Then his phone buzzed with a text message from an unknown number. "Dinner tomorrow night. I know a great Italian place." Emma peered over from her booster seat. "Who's making you smile, Daddy?" Adam hadn't realized he was smiling. "Just a friend, sweetheart." "Is it the pretty lady from this morning, the one who bought my hot chocolate?" "Yes, actually, she's an old friend from when I was in college." "Like before I was born." "Way before you were born," Adam confirmed, typing a quick reply. "Sounds great. I'll need to arrange a sitter for Emma." Olivia's response came almost immediately. "Bring her along if you'd like. I enjoyed meeting her." Adam hesitated. First dates, was this even a date? With Emma in tow were tricky, but his regular babysitter was unavailable and his parents lived 3 states away. "Emma, how would you feel about having dinner with me and my friend Olivia tomorrow night?" Emma's face lit up. "The pretty lady. Yes, can I wear my sparkly shoes?" "Sure thing, pumpkin." When they arrived at Bella not the following evening, Adam immediately felt underdressed, despite wearing his one good button-down shirt and the least worn pair of jeans he owned. The restaurant was upscale, with white tablecloths and waiters in formal attire. "Daddy, it's fancy," Emma whispered loudly, clutching her small purse that contained nothing but a coloring book and crayons. "Yes, it is," Adam agreed, scanning the room nervously. Then he spotted Olivia at a corner table, and his nervousness transformed into something else entirely. She wore a simple black dress that hugged her curves in a way that was elegant rather than provocative. Her auburn hair swept into a loose updo with a few tendrils framing her face. When she saw them, she stood and waved, her smile genuine and warm. "You made it," she said as they approached, leaning in to kiss Adam's cheek lightly. The scent of her perfume, something citrusy and expensive, made his head spin momentarily. "Hello again, Emma," Olivia said, crouching down. "I love your sparkly shoes." Emma beamed. "Thank you." "I like your necklace. It's very shiny." Olivia's hand went to the delicate diamond pendant at her throat. "Thank you. It was a gift to myself when I achieved something important at work." They settled at the table, and Adam noted with relief that Olivia had thoughtfully requested a booster seat for Emma, and there was already a children's menu waiting. "So," Adam said after they'd ordered, Emma happily coloring the children's menu with the crayons provided. "Tech investment, huh?" "That sounds impressive," Olivia shrugged. "It can be exciting. I started at the ground level after that internship I left for." She paused, and Adam knew she was thinking about their breakup. Anyway, I worked my way up, learned the industry, made some good decisions, and eventually started my own firm. Your own firm? Adam couldn't hide his surprise. Wow. Right innovations, she said. We primarily focus on early-stage tech companies with female founders or leadership teams. I think I've heard of that, Adam said, though in truth, he definitely hadn't. His world of construction schedules and mortgage payments seemed light years away from Olivia's reality. What about you? She asked. You're in construction. Site foreman for Apex Developments, he confirmed. We're building the new Riverside condos downtown. I've seen those going up. They look impressive. They will be if we can stay on schedule despite the supply chain issues. As they talked, Adam found himself relaxing. Despite the obvious differences in their current lives, conversation with Olivia flowed easily, just as it had in college. They reminisced about shared professors, laughed about embarrassing moments in the student union, and carefully avoided talking about their breakup. Emma, for her part, was on her best behavior, occasionally chiming in with observations or questions, but mostly focused on her coloring and the plate of buttered pasta she'd ordered. So, Olivia said after the waiter had cleared their main course plates, what happened with you and Emma's mom, if you don't mind me asking? Adam took a sip of his water, considering how to answer. Sarah and I met about 3 years after college. She was ambitious, driven, working for a pharmaceutical sales company. I admired that about her. He glanced at Emma, who was now engrossed in drawing a unicorn. We got married pretty quickly, had Emma, and for a while things were good. But Sarah's career took off, requiring more and more travel, and mine stayed steady. I think she started to resent the stability I wanted. That must have been difficult, Olivia said softly. It was. The divorce was actually her idea, though we're civil now for Emma's sake. She's a good mom when she's around, but... He trailed off, not wanting to say anything negative about Sarah where Emma might hear. And now it's just you two most of the time, Adam nodded. We make it work. Emma's in a good school, I have flexible enough hours to pick her up, and we have our routine. He smiled at his daughter, who looked up and grinned back, pasta sauce on her chin. Olivia reached out impulsively and placed her hand over his on the table. You're a wonderful father, Adam. I can see that. The warmth of her hand on his sent a jolt through him. It had been so long since he'd felt that kind of connection with someone. What about you? He asked, reluctantly withdrawing his hand to help Emma wipe her face. No husband, kids. Olivia shook her head. No husband, no kids. I came close once, about 5 years ago, got engaged to a fellow investor, but... She twisted the napkin in her lap. It turns out he was more interested in my company's client list than in me. I'm sorry, Adam said sincerely. Don't be. It was a valuable lesson in due diligence, she said with a wry smile. Since then, I've been focused on growing my business. And that brought you back here, partly business, partly. She paused. I missed home. Silicon Valley is exciting, but it never felt like where I belonged. When the opportunity came to expand the firm and open an office here, I took it. The waiter approached with dessert menus, and Emma's eyes went wide at the pictures of elaborate confections. Can I have the chocolate thing with the cherry on top? She asked, hopefully. Adam checked the price. $15 for a dessert seemed excessive, but before he could respond, Olivia interjected. I think that looks delicious, Emma. I might get one too. Would that be okay, Adam? He recognized what she was doing, sparing him from having to say no to his daughter or stretch his budget even further. Part of him bristled at the implication he couldn't provide, but the practical part acknowledged that Olivia was just being kind. Sure, he said. But then we should probably head home. It's getting close to someone's bedtime. After dessert, when Adam reached for the check, Olivia smoothly intercepted it. Please, let me. I invited you. Olivia, consider it a thank you for making my first week back in town so much brighter, she said firmly, sliding her card into the leather folder without even glancing at the total. Outside the restaurant, the evening air was cool and crisp with early autumn. Emma yawned widely, and Adam scooped her up into his arms. "I should get her home," he said reluctantly. "Of course," Olivia replied. "I had a lovely time, Adam, and you too, Emma." "Can we see Olivia again, Daddy?" Emma asked sleepily, her head resting on his shoulder. Adam looked at Olivia questioningly. "I'd like that very much," she said, her eyes never leaving his. "Maybe something a little more kid-friendly next time. I hear the Children's Museum has a new dinosaur exhibit." "Emma would love that," Adam said, something warm blooming in his chest at the thought of Olivia wanting to do something specifically for his daughter. "Then it's a date," Olivia said, leaning in to kiss his cheek again. "Good night, Adam." As he drove home, Emma already asleep in her booster seat, Adam couldn't help but wonder what Olivia Wright saw in him. She was clearly successful, beautiful, and could probably have her pick of men who matched her lifestyle. Yet she seemed genuinely interested in seeing him and his daughter again. What Adam didn't know was that, as Olivia drove her sleek Tesla back to her Maple Ridge home, she was thinking about how refreshing it was to be with someone who didn't know or care about her net worth. Someone who looked at her and saw Olivia, the girl he'd known in college, not Olivia Wright, the billionaire CEO whose face occasionally appeared in business magazines. Over the next few weeks, Adam and Olivia saw each other frequently. True to her word, their second date was at the Children's Museum, where Olivia surprised both Adam and Emma with her extensive knowledge of dinosaurs. "How do you know so much about T-Rex?" Emma asked in awe as Olivia explained why the massive predator had such tiny arms. "I wanted to be a paleontologist when I was about your age," Olivia admitted. "I read every dinosaur book in the library." "What's a paleontologist?" Emma sounded out carefully. "A scientist who studies dinosaur fossils," Adam explained, watching Olivia's face light up as she described her childhood dream. "That's what I want to be," Emma declared. "Daddy, can I be a paleontologist when I grow up?" "You can be anything you want to be, Pumpkin," Adam assured her, catching Olivia's eye over Emma's head and sharing a smile. After the museum, they went for ice cream, and Adam insisted on paying this time, despite knowing it would tighten his budget for the week. It was worth it to maintain some dignity, to show Olivia he wasn't looking for a meal ticket. Their third date was just the two of them. Adam's neighbor, Mrs. Rodriguez, agreed to watch Emma for the evening. Olivia suggested a local brewery with live music, deliberately choosing somewhere more casual. "You seem more relaxed here," she observed as they sat at a wooden table, craft beers in front of them. "Do I?" Adam asked, though he knew it was true. The upscale restaurant had made him uncomfortable, conscious of the gulf between their lifestyles. "Yes, though I have to admit, I've enjoyed seeing all sides of you these past few weeks." She took a sip of her beer. The dedicated dad, the knowledgeable construction foreman, and now, just Adam. "Just Adam," he repeated with a small laugh. "That's me, nothing special." Olivia frowned slightly. "That's not true. You're extraordinary, Adam. The way you've built a life for Emma, the way you put her first always, the way you've handled everything life has thrown at you. That's special." Adam felt his face warm at her praise. "You make it sound like I'm some kind of hero. I'm just doing what any decent parent would do." "Not everyone would," Olivia said quietly. "My father walked out when I was 4, never looked back." Adam hadn't known that about her. In college, Olivia had rarely spoken about her family, and he'd never pressed. "I'm sorry," he said, reaching across the table to take her hand. "I didn't know." "It's okay. My mom was amazing, worked 2 jobs to support us." That's partly why I started Wright Innovations with a focus on women in leadership. I saw what my mom could accomplish with almost no resources and thought, what could women like her do with actual backing? The passion in her voice was captivating. This was the Olivia he remembered from college, fiercely intelligent, compassionate, and determined to make a difference. "Your mom must be incredibly proud of you," Adam said. A shadow crossed Olivia's face. "She passed away 5 years ago, cancer. Oh, Liv, I'm so sorry." He squeezed her hand. "Thank you. She got to see the beginning of my success, at least. She knew I'd be okay. The band started playing, a cover of an old song they both recognized from their college days. Olivia's expression lightened. "Dance with me?" she asked, standing and tugging his hand. Adam hesitated. "I'm not much of a dancer." "Neither am I," she laughed. "But that never stopped us at those terrible frat parties, did it?" The memory made him smile. They had been terrible dancers, but so enthusiastic that no one cared. He allowed Olivia to pull him to the small area in front of the band where a few other couples were swaying to the music. As they danced, Adam felt the years melting away. This was the Olivia he'd fallen in love with, not the polished businesswoman in designer clothes, but the girl who laughed freely and didn't care what anyone thought. When she looked up at him, her green eyes reflecting the dim lights of the brewery, Adam couldn't help himself. He leaned down and kissed her, softly at first, then with growing intensity as she responded, her arms winding around his neck. "I've been wanting to do that since I saw you in the coffee shop," he admitted when they finally broke apart. "Me too," she whispered, resting her forehead against his. After that night, they fell into a comfortable rhythm. Olivia joined them for movie nights at Adam's modest apartment, bringing gourmet popcorn and sitting cross-legged on his worn couch, as if it were the most natural thing in the world. Adam and Emma accompanied Olivia on weekend hikes, exploring the trails outside the city. Olivia was careful never to make Adam feel like a charity case, but she was equally careful not to reveal the full extent of her wealth. She drove her Tesla, yes, but explained it as an environmentally conscious choice. She wore designer clothes, but without visible logos or flash. When she invited them to her home in Maple Ridge, she simply said she'd gotten lucky with real estate investments. The house itself was impossible to downplay, a modern architectural masterpiece with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the river, but Olivia had purposely chosen one of the more modest homes in the neighborhood. "Wow," Emma gasped when they pulled up the driveway. "Your house is like a castle." "It's very beautiful," Adam agreed, trying to mask his discomfort. Olivia touched his arm gently. "It's just a house, Adam. What makes it special is having people I care about inside it." That Sunday afternoon at Olivia's home was revealing in ways she hadn't anticipated. As Emma explored the backyard, discovering with delight the small playground Olivia had installed specifically for her visits, Adam wandered into Olivia's home office. "Sorry," he said, backing out quickly when he realized she kept the door closed for a reason. "I was looking for the bathroom." But it was too late. He'd seen the Wall Street Journal cover framed on her wall, with Olivia's photo and the headline, "Right Innovation's CEO closes $2 billion fund for women in tech." Olivia stood frozen in the hallway, watching comprehension dawn on Adam's face. $2 billion. He said quietly, "You're not just successful, Olivia, you're—" "Yes," she admitted. "I am." "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because it doesn't matter," she said, stepping closer to him. "Because I wanted you to see me, not my bank account." "But it does matter," Adam insisted. "It changes things." "What things?" Olivia challenged. "How I feel about you, how you feel about me?" "No, but—" Adam ran a hand through his hair in frustration. "Olivia, I drive a 10-year-old pickup truck. I budget for Emma's hot chocolates. I clip coupons for groceries. Your world and mine, they're completely different." "They don't have to be," Olivia said softly. "They can be one world, our world." Adam shook his head. "What do you even see in me? I'm a construction foreman with a kid and an ex-wife and a mortgage I can barely afford." "I see the man I never should have left 12 years ago," Olivia said, her voice thick with emotion. "I see someone kind and honest and hardworking. I see a father who would do anything for his daughter. I see the only man I've ever truly loved." Her words hung in the air between them, her admission of love unexpected but unmistakable. "You love me?" Adam asked, disbelief coloring his voice. "I never stopped," Olivia confessed. "Why do you think I came back to this city? My company could have opened an office anywhere." Adam stared at her, processing this revelation. "But your life now. You're a billionaire, Olivia, a CEO. Your picture is in the Wall Street Journal. And I would trade all of it in a heartbeat if it meant not losing you again, she said fiercely. Money doesn't keep you warm at night. Success doesn't laugh at your jokes or hold your hand when you're scared. I built an empire, Adam, but what's the point if I have no one to share it with? From the backyard, they heard Emma's delighted squeal as she discovered the tree swing. The sound broke the tension, reminding them both of the little girl who had unknowingly brought them back together. I don't want your money, Liv, Adam said finally. I never have. I know that, she replied. It's one of the reasons I love you, but I can't ignore it either. It's part of who you are now. Olivia took his hands in hers. Then accept it as part of me, just as I accept every part of you. Your past, your present, Emma, all of it. We're not the same people we were in college, Adam. We've both grown, changed, experienced life. But the core of who we are, that hasn't changed. Adam looked down at their joined hands, his calloused from manual labor, hers soft but strong. I'm afraid, he admitted. Afraid that one day you'll wake up and realize you made a mistake, that I'm not enough. That will never happen, Olivia assured him. But I understand your fear, so let's take it slow. Let's build something solid, something that can withstand any differences between us. Daddy, Olivia, Emma called from the backyard. Come push me on the swing, Adam smiled despite himself. She's already fallen in love with you, you know. The feeling is mutual, Olivia said. She's an amazing little girl, just like her dad is an amazing man. Adam looked into Olivia's eyes and saw nothing but sincerity and love. Maybe, he thought, their different worlds could merge after all. Okay, he said finally. Slow, we'll take it slow. Olivia's face lit up with joy. Slow is perfect. We have all the time in the world. They sealed their agreement with a kiss, then went outside to push Emma on the swing, her laughter carrying across the yard as she soared higher and higher. True to their word, they took things slowly. Over the next year, their relationship deepened naturally. Adam grew more comfortable with Olivia's wealth, especially as he saw how unpretentiously she lived despite her resources. Olivia found immense joy in the simple family life she shared with Adam and Emma: movie nights, school recitals, weekend camping trips. When Adam was offered a promotion to project manager that would stretch his skills but provide better financial stability, Olivia encouraged him without ever suggesting he didn't need to work. She understood his pride, his need to provide for his family on his own terms. Emma thrived with Olivia in her life, blossoming under the additional attention and love. When Sarah remarried and moved permanently to Europe for her job, accepting only summer visits from Emma, Olivia stepped in to provide the maternal presence the little girl needed. 18 months after their reunion in the coffee shop, Adam proposed to Olivia on the campus of their old university, at the bench where they'd shared their first kiss as college sophomores. This is where it all began, he said, down on one knee with a modest ring he'd saved for months to buy. And I want this to be where our new beginning is marked. Olivia Wright, will you marry me? Tears streamed down Olivia's face as she nodded emphatically. Yes, she managed through her emotion. Yes, Adam Keller, I will marry you. As he slid the ring onto her finger, she added, but you should know that Emma already asked me to be her stepmom 3 weeks ago, and I already said yes to her too. Adam laughed, standing to pull Olivia into his arms. She's always been the braver one of us. Their wedding was a perfect blend of their worlds, elegant but unpretentious, held in the botanical gardens with Emma as the flower girl, proudly scattering rose petals down the aisle before Olivia appeared in a simple white gown that took Adam's breath away. I love you, he whispered as she joined him at the altar. I love you more, she replied, squeezing his hands. After the ceremony, as guests mingled at the reception, Olivia pulled Adam aside to a quiet corner. Her eyes sparkled with excitement and a hint of nervousness. I have something to tell you, she said. You're not having second thoughts already, are you? Adam teased. Just the opposite, Olivia said, placing his hand on her still flat stomach. We're going to need a bigger swing set. Adam's eyes widened as understanding dawned. You're pregnant. Olivia nodded, her smile radiant. 8 weeks. Emma's going to be a big sister. Adam gathered his new wife into his arms, overwhelmed with joy. You've given me everything, Liv, he whispered against her hair. Everything I never knew I could have again. We've given each other a second chance, she corrected gently, and I plan to make the most of every moment. From across the room, Emma spotted them and came running over, her flower girl dress swishing around her legs. Why are you hiding? It's time for cake. Adam lifted his daughter into his arms, sharing a meaningful look with Olivia. How would you feel about sharing your room someday, Pumpkin? Not right away, but maybe in about 7 months. Emma's eyes grew round. Am I getting a brother or sister? We don't know yet, Olivia said, placing a hand on Emma's back. Is that okay with you? Emma considered this seriously for a moment, then broke into a wide grin. I think that would be pretty cool. I can teach them all about dinosaurs. You'll be the best big sister ever, Adam assured her, his heart full as he looked at his growing family. Later that night, after Emma had fallen asleep in her room at Olivia's house, now their house, Adam and Olivia stood on the balcony overlooking the river, the city lights twinkling in the distance. Did you ever imagine we'd end up here? Adam asked, his arms wrapped around Olivia from behind, his hands resting protectively over their unborn child. Not exactly like this, Olivia admitted, but I always hoped we'd find our way back to each other. Some things are just meant to be. As they stood there in comfortable silence, Adam marveled at the journey that had brought them to this moment. A chance meeting in a coffee shop, a precocious 5-year-old's request for hot chocolate, and the rekindling of a love that had never truly died. Olivia might be a billionaire, but Adam had finally realized that her true wealth had nothing to do with money. It was in her heart, her spirit, her capacity for love. And now, miraculously, that wealth belonged to him too, not in stocks or investments or properties, but in the family they were building together. I love you, Olivia Keller, he whispered, the new name still fresh and wonderful on his tongue. Olivia turned in his arms, her eyes reflecting the moonlight. And I love you, Adam Keller, for always. Their second chance had become something neither of them could have imagined 12 years ago, something better, deeper, and infinitely more precious for having been lost and found again.